What's going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. Got some things just wanted to chat about. Some things I'm doing that I think are going to improve my Harley Quinn bust. I wanted to go over a few statues I'm still considering and some I'm looking at potentially selling. So I was thinking of two ways to improve the Harley Quinn bust. Now, one is increasing the breast size. I do think it's too small. Even if that maybe is accurate, I want bigger boobs. It looks flat-chested. So I did attempt something. I posted this in my Facebook group so you guys can see at Flankster Statue Collectors. But I wanted to show you real quickly. So first off, here's Harley without all the clouds in her base. You can display her like that. The shirt just covers it. So if that's one of the reasons you don't like the bust, you can do that. But here is me putting more or less like my wife's black bra on top of the Harley Quinn bra. Now, her bra is supposed to be red, so this doesn't work, but it gave me an idea of how to make her boobs look bigger. So, you know, like right there, you can really see how much bigger it is versus, you know, that right there, which is flat-chested. You can see how much bigger that is. It definitely grew quite, you know, went from like an A to a B cup. So I think that's quite a bit better, actually. You know, and I think that matches the J&D better, which looks more like a B cup. So I did go ahead and order this bra right here from Walmart. It's like 12 bucks. You know, it's one you just simply attach from behind. It's very similar to the one that, the one I put on her before was like this, basically. And so I just needed to buy a red one because my wife did not have one. And then the second thing is, you know, that hand. The hand that's not very detailed, looks almost like wood, poorly painted. I think one way to really improve that is the fingernails. That's one of the areas that kind of bugs me the most. So I was looking at this, which is like a, you know, fake nail you basically put over it. So, you know, the nice thing is the other hand that is silicone, all the fingernails are painted, you know, like vibrant colors. So it doesn't have to, I don't have to worry about like matching. And then all I have to do is paint simple letters on this, you know, the evil, to get it to work. You know, I can even clip this white part if I need to, but I think this is a, you know, great idea. It was $5. I can return it if I don't like it. I'm not gonna like per se permanently do it, but I'm gonna, you know, attach it with maybe a tiny bit of putty and see how it looks. And if I like it, you know, and it fixes the whole issue, I may consider it. I also potentially could just consider, you know, a full-on repaint. You'd have to ship the gun arm, which isn't super fragile. You know, just bubble wrap that, should be fine. I would just have to look into how much it would cost to repaint 5 fingers, just more realistic. You know, I don't think it should cost, honestly, more than $75. But I need to reach out to some, you know, artists that do really good paint app, because I want it to look more like the silicone. You know, just really good paint app that's very realistic. Maybe if they can even add some sculpt to it. You know, because right now it's almost looks very incomplete. So that is the first thing I wanted to chat about, was, you know, kind of fixing my Harley. And I'll go show you here in a minute. There are a few statues I'm potentially considering. Of course, if I get these, I do have to consider selling something or canceling something in order to both fund and have space, or just fund. One, I'm still highly considering this unkillable bust. I think this thing is amazing. It's not from a movie, but that's fine because, I mean, there's not really like a memorable zombie per se. I mean, I know there was the one from Night of the Living Dead, that like oil looking one, but I didn't like that movie too much, to be honest. You know, I guess the zombie baby from Dead Alive. But nevertheless, this is a really like sick looking zombie. Very evil looking and just incredible detail. It fit down low so perfect because it's looking up. You know, up and to the right. So I'm just like, man, that looks so cool, like right there. You know, I can easily just put that back right there and put the zombie bust right there. And it's only actually 22 inches wide. That's a 36-inch wide shelf. So I could technically even put, you know, something next to it. Like, let's say they made a 1/3 version of this, or I wanted to put another 1/3 statue in general next to it. I could. You know, it's $2,500 though, so it's pretty expensive. I mean, that's what I paid for the Lycan bust. And these guys were like $2 grand each, so it's like $500 more than them, but I think it's probably more impressive than them. You know, it's one of their better busts, no doubt. Like, this might be one of the most impressive busts that ECC's done. You know, I'm You know, two of the best for me is probably Freddy and Jason, which are both absolutely outstanding, and I think this is definitely as good as them. And they cost, I think, about $2,000. So I'm still highly considering this. But if I do get it, I definitely have to consider $2,500 is no joke. That's a lot of money. So I do have to think how I can afford that. You know, so I was thinking, what if I canceled Steppenwolf? He cost $2,500. That could be one way of getting this. You know, is Steppenwolf necessary? He's part of the line, but honestly, all I really need is Darkseid, who I like a lot more than Steppenwolf. And so I was just thinking, you know, maybe we cancel Steppenwolf. The shipping cost is going to increase, and so I can, you know, get my deposit back, and I can just order this. And I have until February 25th, so basically 1 month from when I'm filming this, January 25th, to order this before the price increases, because I want to get that promotional price, which is like $300 cheaper. So what do you guys like more, this or Prime 1 Steppenwolf? Now, Steppenwolf is 39 inches. He's a beast. He is 1 inch taller than that Predator. And he obviously fits in the line. He's, you know, incredibly cool looking, robotic looking, lots of switch outs. It's definitely going to have more presence. This will be more detailed and very unique, you know, where, I mean, realistically, I only need Darkseid, you know, just like, I mean, I guess with Avengers, I have Loki and Thanos and, you know, Ultron, but 1/4. I wish I could get both, but, you know, money is definitely tight. Another thing I'm considering is this Drogon statue. Drogon. My waitlist converted. I have 1 day to make a decision on this, or I PO it through Spec Fiction. Now, of course, Sideshow is totally ship price gouging you on this. They wanted to charge $300 in shipping. This ends up costing like $2,400 because of tax and grossly overpriced shipping. However, this piece does look amazing. And a guy in my Facebook group, Silvio, he got this and he freaking loved it. He says, I am extremely pleased with the detail and craftsmanship. And, you know, look at that. That looks like it has amazing presence. Like, this thing is 30, what is it? So it's 34, almost 35 inches tall, 37 inches wide, 16 inches deep. So 16 inches sounds about what the base is. Now, I mean, that base does look pretty big. It could just be wider than deeper, but it looks pretty big. Comes with a really nice plaque, massive wingspan, sick looking dragon. You know, the detail looks great. Like, that portrait is absolute killer. The only big downside is there's nasty seam lines on both wings. But I do think this looks absolutely incredible. You know, and so I'm highly considering it. However, based off my, you know, existing, you know, Game of Thrones space, I got that, and then where Elite is at. Now I'm putting the Khaleesi bust above. I cannot fit that Drogon dragon there, and Drogon being 35 inches tall will not fit underneath. So I'm just like, ugh, how could I get it? I'm like thinking the only way I could get it is if I moved Rotunda T-Rex and then put Drogon there next to Khaleesi bust. And I'm just like, Jupiter. I really love that dragon, but I also can't think of a way of doing this unless we move Game of Thrones. You know, example, you know, I don't necessarily need the Night King. Like, I like it, but I don't need it. I mean, I don't need any statues. But I was also thinking, you know, what if you moved Game of Thrones into this room? You know, I'm still debating on Godzilla vs. Kong just because it does cost so much. But I was thinking, you know, if we do him right there, those two underneath, and that's it for Godzilla and Kong. That's it. Right here, you could do Khaleesi bust and Drogon, Khaleesi and Jon Snow. You know, I could fit Khaleesi bust and that Drogon dragon right there. However, that Drogon dragon is the exact same cost as like just Godzilla as well. Think about that. Although the Dio is $7,000 total. But I'm just like, technically that could almost fund Burning Godzilla, which is another one I've also considered. Burning Godzilla, the companion piece to King Ghidorah. It looks incredible. It's just as big. And I could throw it right there. But if I got that, that means I wouldn't be getting the Dio. And I'm like, the diorama is far more impressive. But also, Burning Godzilla is $2,500. you know, and it, you know, much, much cheaper. And obviously companions this better, but Godzilla vs. Kong will probably become my favorite statue. So I'm like, I really need that. But I'm trying to think how I could possibly also get that Drogon. So it definitely is like, ugh, I want it. But space and money is definitely an issue. Yeah, so right now for the Harley, it's just... And that does not work. Yeah, we took it off so you can see, you know, the shirt covers that. But I basically was putting a bra right over this. But I was thinking you put some fingernails over this. Although, if you look at this actual, like, there's no skin texture on this. It does have where the nail would be, and that's where I'd put the fake fingernail and literally just write evil. But, you know, like this finger comes off. You know, it's like, look at the difference between the two. I still don't know how they thought this was acceptable. Like, this is worse than like a 1/6 scale finger. Like, my fingers on that Wolverine 1/4 custom, or even that piece of crap bust is more detailed than this. How, Infinity Studios, bunch of Jupiters is what they are. Charging $4 grand, giving me that. That little Wolverine $70 bust is more detailed, which is just mind-boggling. And Infinity Studios, of course, they won't comment. I've messaged them multiple times, 0 comments. But I was thinking, what if I just got this repainted? I ship this arm off, you know, and have them match the skin tone of this to that, repaint it, give her proper nails. You know, that would fix one of the biggest issues of this bust. I don't necessarily care if it's actually silicone, but if they can make it look like silicone, you know, if they can make the paint app really good, maybe add some like textures into it. I don't know how you do that, but maybe they could add some textures. I also wonder if these fingers are removable, you know, because it looks like, I swear these are just like probably glued in. I bet if I took some heat and just heated it up for 5 minutes, I could probably remove each finger and then send it off to a silicone maker, have them mold this and make a silicone version. And then I glue the silicone version in. I'm going to contact a silicone artist and see if that's possible as well. Because if I could get this silicone, that would be a no-brainer. You know, if I could just remove all 5 fingers, you know, like that little one, that's not even touching. That's not touching. This is the only one that's actually touching the gun. The thumb, not touching. So literally just this one. I do wonder, though, if the reason it is polystone is because they tried silicone and the gun was falling out of the hand. What do you guys think that's a possibility? I mean, it's definitely very possible that this glove was not able to hold it in. Although I feel like it can. I feel like this really should have been silicone. So, shame on you, Infinity Studios. Shame, shame, shame. You know, I'm contemplating on Maribust. Are they going to make her upper chest and neck area silicone or polystone? If it's polystone, absolute deal breaker. Will not even remotely consider it. It must all be silicone. I want absolutely no polystone. Because from now on out, outside of that, Harley and Khaleesi bust, if there's a silicone that has polystone skin, I will not buy it. You know, if Captain America bust is polystone hand and not silicone, I will not buy it. That's a deal breaker for me now. Just for my 2 favorite girls, Harley and Khaleesi, I'll make that exception. But yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to chat with you guys about. You know, just some things on the mind, some statues. I'm like, ooh, should I consider this? I do really like it. But you also have to consider what you can get for that money. You know, something else. You know, like for the cost of that zombie bust that technically buys Prime 1 Vampirella. It technically could buy a lot of cool statues. But I mean, that zombie bus is so freaking cool. You know, not doing Steppenwolf, if I just do like Darkseid and Black Adam, then boom, you know, I could have everything really spaced out evenly and looking good. But I still do want Steppenwolf. I think it looks incredible. So, I don't know. I'm trying to figure things out. I probably won't buy Drogon just 'cause the space issues, and it's still pretty expensive. But I'm definitely highly considering the zombie bust. I want to see in-hands of Steppenwolf too. So hopefully we can see in-hands in the next few weeks. We just need Chinese New Year to end because I got 2 statues that I don't have working tracking for. I don't have tracking at all. In fact, that I believe Chinese New Year has delayed for me. So really want it to end so we can get my statue shipped to me. Anyways, folks, that's it. If you guys are looking to buy statues, use the links below, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.